With us in the studio, should I say the office, with us right now is David Wilkinson of Guerilla Films. David, welcome.
Thank you.
No relation, even though we share the same name.
I was going first.
So let's just get straight into it. I mean, you're a distributor of British independent films and Irish independent films. What is it that makes a film sell where others don't sell?
Oh, God, that's a very long question. It's sometimes the depressing thing, it's literally about timing. It doesn't matter how good your film is. If you come out in the wrong month, in the wrong week, and there's too many other films there, you're bumped. When I brought The Calling out last week, there were 13 films released that week. And a lot of newspapers, who are very important for promoting films, could only write about 8 of them. So when they kind of decide which to do, it's down to how many screens is it showing on. So no matter how much they liked it, I had journalists and radio stations ringing up and saying, you know, we're really sorry because we'd like to have featured this, but we just don't have the space, we don't have the time. And, you know, if you look at some of the great successful films, particularly low-budget films, they've come out in a very flat week. So it's depressing, but it's often not to do with the film. You know, the best film I distribute is a film called Adam and Paul, which is a work of genius, and it cost about £280,000, and in Ireland alone took the equivalent of 700,000. But in the UK, I had to bring it out specifically at a specific time because somebody else had Blockbuster had the DVD rights, and they were bringing them out in September. So I had to have that sort of 4-month window. So I was forced into a really bad week. So when it came out, although a lot of the reviewers gave it good write-up, there was just too much competition. There were a lot of independent films out that week, so it suffered.
So in some ways, you've got to make a film that stands out. You've got to find some way that is not... You know, the myth is that if you make a terrific film, it will find an audience. But you know, you've got to make a terrific film and stand out in some ways. Otherwise, even you just might hit that bad weekend.
Even then, I mean, I don't want to depress people, but even then, it doesn't help. I mean, I had a $16 million film written by an Oscar winner, directed by an Oscar winner, starring Harvey Keitel and Stellan Skarsgård. I spent £120,000 promoting that film, and again, it was the wrong week. And if you really start thinking about that, you'd never actually make a film. I'd never release a film. So the great thing with film, unlike, say, publishing books, which I do, a film, if it fails in the cinema, at least you've got video on demand, you've got DVD, you've got television, you've got other forms to try and get that film out there and promote it. Right.
I mean, that raises the question, is there too many films in the marketplace?
Yes. There's been too many films for a long time, but now with digital technology, there is an enormous glut. You know, I'm going to Cannes in 2 weeks' time. There will be 2,000 brand new films there. In this country, in the cinema, we're getting up to 600 films released a year. There's probably a further 4, 5, maybe 600 released on DVD. That's still only 1,200 films. So there's 800 films made in Cannes that are never going to be released in the UK. On top of Cannes, there's the American film market. There's Berlin, where people launch the films. All these films in Cannes are new films being launched in Cannes. So nobody knows how many films are made, but there could be up to 4, 5, 6,000 films made a year. I remember one year at the Galway Film Festival, I sat next to Bingham Ray, who used to run United Artists, and I saw this extraordinarily good American independent film. And when it finished, I said, who distributed that in the US? And Bingham said, nobody. And I said, but that's a brilliant film. It was the subject matter and the content was something we've all seen before many, many times, but it was beautifully made, but nothing really stood out about it. And Bingham said, the problem is there's just too many being made in America. And he said, much as I like that film, when it came to me, I couldn't take it on. And every other distributor passed on it because there just wasn't that hook to hang it on. Beautifully executed, beautifully acted, but a sort of film, if I'm being cruel, I suppose, it was a bit like a movie of the week. And in America, they're making, there are 5, 6 movies of the week, at least, new ones every week. Right. So if you're making a film that has that kind of similar formulaic process as a movie of the week, then you're going up against them. So why are people actually going to pay? Why is a distributor going to take it on when you can turn on the television and get it for free?